Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotsuben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yo.
And Rose.
Hi.
Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives, as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we've all played the second half of the fourth case of the Great Ace Attorney 2, Resolve, Twisted Karma, and His Last Bow. Well, this is a slightly differently paced case than we normally have here. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Just first blush.
I was like,
if anybody expecting how it quite wrapped up or how it played out here.
well, I've got to
I've got to
admit, I did start to see the twist coming at one point,
Mhm.
but for me, the biggest twist was that we didn't wrap this shit up. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I was going to be like, what twist are you talking about?
What twist am I talking about? No one knows.
There's many a twist.
We've had a couple conversations in previous Ace Attorney games that we've played, in that sometimes we've said, this is such a long case. I kind of wish that they broke it up into two cases.
Thank God they did that.
Well, folks, they finally did it.
When I said break it up into two cases, I don't know what I mean, I feel like in most situations where we said that, it was a case that could be cleanly broken into two cases. I don't know if this one could be cleanly broken into two cases, or at least the way they did it.
Well, it would be like 1 billion hours long if they didn't, so...
No, I agree. It is kind of 1 billion hours long. I think that... Well, let's just go. Maybe we should go in the summary, and then I can say my piece.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The summary is a little shorter for the rest of the courtroom segment, and then a little longer for all the rest. So why don't we just get that first courtroom segment? We'll kind of discuss that, because it's fairly contained, right?
I do, and I do have some things I want to say to reestablish my Sherlock Holmes cred.
Right. So,
I have not doubted your Sherlock Holmes.
No, because I missed something because I was so last time we recorded, I was so out of it that I apologize. I really should have seen basically how that entire case played out. But you gotta remember that we played that case and then we had to keep postponing recording because I literally couldn't talk words.
Right.
You had a disease.
It's a fair reason to delay a recording.
I had multiple diseases. I should get to go to Podcaster Valhalla, basically, is what I'm saying. But I did I did miss that the man with the twisted lip story is about a guy who loses his job I don't know if he loses his job. But he finds out that disguising himself as a beggar with his theater degree is actually pretty profitable, and so he starts doing that for money instead, and he goes out of his way to keep it secret from his wife and children, to the point that he actually gets arrested, and is almost tried for murdering himself, basically, until Sherlock Holmes figured out what has happened.
Yeah. I mean, if you had realized that, you might have been able to predict
but I was
the whole case.
Loony. But the second I got back into it, and I was like, hey, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Hey, wait, these guys. Hold on. So anyways, that's I did figure it out, listeners. I was just a little behind schedule.
Listen, it's all right, and now we get to lay it all out for everybody now, and get surprised. So, returning to court, we begin by cross-examining the Red-Headed League with Fabian de Rousseau and Peppino de Rossi.
These guys are weird.
Yeah, we got some real goofballs here. While it seems that they didn't murder Gregson, we do quickly discover that they kidnapped him. Or at least someone that they thought was Gregson. However, some details about this person that they kidnapped don't line up, yet he has the real detective's ID on him. They nearly strangled the poor guy. Ryunosuke then realizes that he did see some strangle marks before, and drags Gossip back onto the stand, who reveals that he was paid by Gregson to intentionally impersonate him on multiple occasions. We dig deeper, and learn that Gossip is actually the missing Daily Vigil. He started working for Gregson after he couldn't find work because he had been let go for, wait for it, mistakes made during the execution of the professor. Whatever he did, which we don't learn during the courtroom segment, he attempted suicide over, and has fully blocked off the memories of what happened. Ryunosuke and Kazuma both insist that he really try to remember, and Daly tries so hard that he faints in court. The judge summons medical care for him and suspends the trial for another day. So we're also getting our first ever time that we're breaking the court case up again here. That is kind of the whole courtroom segment here. We do visit during the investigation phase then Daly in the hospital, and he starts telling us some more details about why he kind of blocked these memories out and what he does remember now. But yeah, this is the courtroom segment so far. So I think we can kind of break it down here a little bit. And if we need to pull in a few details of what he reveals later, we can. But then we'll get into the investigation segment after this.
Are these two characters from Sherlock, Rose?
These characters are not from the Red-Headed League story. I think they're their own original, French and Italian stereotypes.
They're Takumi OCs?
I think so. They're weird.
Yeah.
Their vibe is weird.
I believe these are original just for this. They're not references to any
the French
Sherlock
one
stories.
Is tall and thin, and the Italian one is short and chubby. The Italian one has heart, and the tall one has brains. And they play off each other because the Italians.
Does the tall one jump really high and slow?
No, he's just kind of my least favorite of the two. I like the short one because he's easy to interrogate.
Just I was just like, what is this freaking offensive Italian stereotype for the 1800s? Like, what's going on here?
We Japanese devs are sick of you guys creating stereotypical Japanese characters.
I mean, they're just Capcom characters, so that's the best way to explain it. Capcom goes, "Oh, I know what we need to do. We gotta bring someone foreign."
Let's have our Italian character be named Pizza Pasta. Hell yeah!
I mean, honestly, dressed up in the colors of their national flags. Yeah,
I actually didn't grok that till just now. The French one is white, red hair, blue, and the short one is white, red hair, green. Yeah, that really is just the two flags. Interesting.
Am I misremembering, or wasn't the tall one German?
The tall one's French.
He's definitely French.
Okay,
he said Z. He's French as hell. I have nothing to say about these two. I think they're simply obstacles that were in my path.
They're almost just such stock stereotypes that there's not a whole lot to dig into with them, right?
They were just kind of weird too. They had just a weird, uncomfortable vibe.
Their vibe was the old one, the tall one was the thinker, the planner, and would
the thinker.
He was the thinker, right? He was the one who would come up with the plans and stuff like that. The short Italian one would follow.
God.
Now the issue that I have with them.
The dog's freaking out. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can hear her, but I'm just gonna bulldoze right through.
She's fine. She heard a vague noise and is like, alert. Please pay attention. Someone is in the parking lot.
Yep. You never know. They might be able to get inside somehow.
My
one
parking
day.
lot.
Yeah.
Now she's a stupid little potato and can't do anything about it. But okay. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. But like the strangest thing about them is that they're criminals, and one of them,
they are still defrauding people. They're still trying to steal people's money.
They sure are.
Their scheme was to steal people's money by having them sign up for the Red-Headed League for a price of 5 shillings and then just never pay people.
Yeah.
It seemed to be the French one's plan, who likes doing it just because he likes to think. And
he's rich, but he just came here because he just likes to mess with people. and be a thief.
But they were for sure not criminals. Now,
or murderers.
Murderers, let's be perfectly clear. They are absolutely fucking criminals. The thing that got me the most was the collar thing. Now...
Yeah, they really strangled this guy.
I was uncomfortable.
Apparently, the short one was like, I want to back out of this plan, fuck this plan. And the tall one says, no, absolutely not, I need you. And he dragged him back with a collar and a leash. And then, like, the short one was like, yeah, I got dragged by a collar. And the tall one's like, no, that didn't happen. He goes, yeah, it did. Here's my hurt mark. And he shows the heart mark.
I need to know what you boys are up to. God.
Their vibe was strange.
He's got his little bow tie, collar tied around his neck. And he just grabbed him by that and pulled real hard.
I don't know.
No, there's a leash.
Yeah, they were pretty clear about it.
Now, apparently, someone went through and, interrogated them as an officer of the law, Vigil, and he got kidnapped by these two, and they put the collar on him.
Yep.
This is just weird. How many of these things do they have?
It's the one collar. It's just that...
I hope so.
He just keeps that motherfucking thing on him.
Yeah.
I don't...
He found out that he really kind of liked it.
The French.
Ah, the French.
Oh, the French.
Those motherfuckers.
Known for their famous Red-Headed League. And defrauding Londoners everywhere.
Well, that is funny, but
yeah. So yes, we have Daly posing as Tobias. We learn that Tobias was paying him money to go out, wave his badge around, and say, "I'm Tobias Gregson. I'm here investigating," and just to like plant the seed in the crowd that a detective from Scotland Yard named Tobias Gregson was investigating something somewhere, so that Tobias had alibis, when people would ask, oh, where were you at this time, that kind of stuff. So he could be off doing other shit. So this is just like a long extended plan from Gregson to kind of start to set up,
something.
Coverage. We get an explanation from somebody in a moment. We'll get to that. But for now, it seems like everybody thinks he's investigating the killings.
The killer.
It's interesting to me that it turns out this whole Red-Headed League business just turned out to be like, not a front necessarily, but kind of just something that was happening coinciding with this murder.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I'm perfectly fine putting these two behind us for now. Forever. There's not much else to say about it. Gregson just happened to be murdered while a case was happening with the other guy. And it turns out these fucks don't matter. They didn't kill Gregson.
Well, we did find that lady's husband.
Yes, they give us a lead back to Daly. Because that is how we go, wait a minute, this gossip guy also has a ring around his neck exactly like yours. So did you also drag this guy around? And yes, that is how you reveal that who they thought was Gregson was actually Daly. And he, we get him back out on stand at this point then. And this is where he breaks down the whole plot that Gregson was paying him to do and how he had fooled his wife. You know, she thought he was still working at the prison the whole time. He must have been making pretty good money from from Gregson to be able to support his family, I guess.
Yeah, continue.
And yeah, so and he used this fake name Hugh Boone as he was the peddler. Yeah, he pulls off his disguise, you know, with his twisted lip and all that. You get to see the real Daly, who looks a little bit like a foppish, I don't know,
dork.
JoJo's side character.
He's a dork, and he looks like you could snap him over your pinky finger.
He does just kind of look like a JoJo side character.
And Ryunosuke and Kazuma do snap him over their legs later.
Yeah, that's true.
Collapses in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
He collapses during his breakdown where he explains the whole shtick. How we discussed his like memory thing already, right? We discussed his we interrogate the fuck out of him.
He tried to block it out.
It was in the summary. It's kind of incredible to me that like I'm glad this did technically have to be 2 cases because the Red-Headed League, I'm pretty sure, is not going to come up during the second half of this case. And if it does, I'm amazed because I can't see what
Color
these...
me surprised.
Shut up. But it's, you know, Kazuma is doggedly like chasing down Vigil's memories because he desperately needs to know what happened 10 years ago. And he's not himself. Everyone's like, he's not himself. This isn't him. And I'm like, what? Clearly this is him. He's doing it right now. I don't quite understand when people be like, that's not him. It's like, clearly it is him. He's doing it right now. Like,
He's normally so much more reserved, though, Tiago.
Nah, he probably would have been like this if he was, like, not amnesia, to be honest. Like, him getting amnesia was only, like, a minor setback. Man, Vigil, tough life. His life kind of got ruined. He's a patsy. He's a guy who didn't do anything. Well, he was a cop. Oh, is he a cop?
He's a prison warden. So
he's a prison warden. So you know,
almost as bad.
Yeah,
still not great. Yeah,
his life did get ruined because he was used as a patsy to pin the blame on all of this.
Yeah. It sucks that he was used as a patsy, and I have some sympathy for him. On the other hand, prison warden.
True. We have to go back during the prison later. I don't know. I'm glad that we're able.
Wife, though.
He does have a hot wife, but he doesn't deserve her.
You can't see, but I am nodding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we solved this Red-Headed League behind us, and I'm glad that we could just close the door on that.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that I really otherwise have notes here for this segment is that I was, I mean, you know, I guess if you're playing through this segment of the game and you're just listening to us and you ever play through this, I guess content warning for suicide. But he does like try to commit suicide, and we kind of see it happen from a first person's perspective using the prison warden's office, Caden's office. Like they use that and have the camera move through it first person to the big window that he has on the left, and then have the camera move right up to the window and then play the glass shattering sound effect and have it fade to white, right? Like real fast, you know, and they kind of play that effect, and they use that
like
as,
he got flashbanged.
As like a shorthand to try to help convey, you know, what he did. And I just thought that was an interesting and smart use of limited resources. Again, we've talked a little bit already about some of the budget and the asset reuse that they have to go through to kind of tell the story that they want to tell while getting it done in time and not overspending.
Your catch throws the JPEG at you.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, I don't know. It was much more tasteful than what was the last time this series depicted suicide. They just kept showing that photo over and over again.
With Adrian Andrews?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just kept showing the picture of the other woman who
Yeah, that was
legs dangling. It was a bit much.
This was just like, hey buddy, like here's what happens, like you get the idea, but we're not gonna linger on it.
Right. They show it to you once, and then we see kind of the breakdown of Daly, and he collapses there in the court. And the judge is like, damn, that was crazy. Get a doctor.
Get that freak out of my goddamn courtroom.
So we kind of just wrap up court there because it's in a little bit of chaos and since he collapsed, so we don't really get like a whole lot of wrap up or chance to converse with Cosmo or anything like that before we head out of court. So we go right back into the investigation mode after that.
This whole time I'm wondering, man, how are we gonna wrap this up in time? We were not going to do that. We were just going to break it up, and that's fine. That's smart. But I was just like, where do I go? How can I wrap this up? Jeez, I'm never gonna finish.
Yeah. Well, did anybody have any last thoughts for this courtroom segment before I do the summary for our investigation segment?
No.
It's just sort of like these guys are so weird that I got like really distracted.
I'm sick of these two. I'm glad it's over.
Put them back in the box.
Yeah.
All right.
This is where the real meat is.
Like, Muppet on Muppet violence.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty sure that I've said that at least once or twice in our playthroughs.
The funniest part of this
Muppet violence.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's like some of the best parts of the Muppet show is when there's Muppet on Muppet violence.
Yeah, the best part of the court case was when they're like, we gotta wipe the makeup off of Gossip's face, and then the judge orders the two redheads to be like, all right, hold him down.
Yeah.
That was actually the most
like, yes, Your Honor.
They already fucked him up once. Do it again.
Yeah. Re-traumatize this man on the double.
Mm-hmm.
Bailiff, re-traumatize this man.
Oh, all right. So, heading back into investigation mode, Ryunosuke, Susato, and Iris visit Van Zieks in his cell again, who barely summons up, thank you. He also mentions that Genshin Asogi once saved his life just 2 days before being arrested. However, he has more important things to talk about. He's ready to reveal what he was privately investigating Gregson for. The Reaper isn't a man, but an organization of people, and he believes that Gregson was the investigator and planner, and a woman named Asa Shin was the primary killer. Of course, Ryo and Susato recognize Asa Shin as the real name of one Giselle Brett.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can't believe her name's Asa Shin. That's just a Sashin.
I know, this has got to be the most disappointing pun I've seen from Ace Attorney in a while.
It's kind of our laziest one, I'm not gonna lie.
It's the laziest one, but it's not the worst one. The worst one is still from Spirit of Justice. That's so long I can't even fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst one.
Is so long and confusing. Yeah, whichever one.
Fuck that.
So they hurry to Eugene Mikotoba and inform him of what they've learned. They discuss the part about Iris's dad possibly being murdered by Shin while she's out of earshot. He's shocked and goes to report this info to the Japanese government, but not before mentioning to Ryunosuke that he'd like him to come back to Japan and help improve the legal system there. Sholmes appears just as Mikotoba leaves, who says that he needs them to send an important telegram to Japan as well. The three then visit Daily Vigil at the hospital next, learning of the Asogi Papers, a last will and testament left by Genshin that seemingly disappeared, and that Daly found the coffin already nailed shut, which was normally his job, and then, just moved onward to the next steps. He now realizes that the professor was likely still alive inside, and this was an elaborate escape attempt. The trio brings up the Asogi Papers to Governor Caden, and he claims they never disappeared at all, and hands them a copy of the will. It appears perfectly normal. Next, they visit Cosma, who tells his side of the story as to how he escaped the SS Buria and made his way to London. He also knows about Gregson being involved in the Reaper organization, but says that he believes Barak was still at the top, giving all the orders. Lastly, they meet Courtney Scythe's daughter, Mariah Gorey, and she happily gives them any information that she has. She believes that it was possible that Gregson's body was tampered with to change the time of death, so she leaves the autopsy report time as indeterminate. Additionally, she lets them see Clint Van Zeek's autopsy report, but they find it missing from the files. Iris suddenly gets very nervous and runs home. On their way back to Baker Street, Ryunosuke and Susato pass by Gina at the empty apartment and meet Toby and his amazing sniffer again. However, upon picking up a trunk belonging to Gregson, Ryu gets attacked by Toby and passes out, as he gets attacked? Anyway, they go back to Baker Street.
Anyway.
Ryunosuke, Susato, and Sholmes enter the living room to find a mute Iris and the King of Germany belting out some classical folk songs. Of course, it's Dance of Deduction time. After correcting Sholmes, we get some big old truth bombs here. Of course, it's not the King of Germany. It's Yujin Mikotoba, who was knocked out by the trap inside the chest of manuscripts. Iris was hiding the autopsy report for Clint because the handwriting on it was her father's, John H. Wilson. Or so we think. To lay it all out, using the evidence in front of them, Ryunosuke and Susato pieced together that Sholmes' famous partner was not John H. Wilson, but was in fact Yujin Mikotoba. The two went on many adventures and solved plenty of mysteries for the 6 years that Mikotoba was in London, with the last being the professor killings. However, Susato asks, then doesn't the evidence point to Mikotoba being Iris's father as well? Sholmes congratulates her on her deductive reasoning, but neither of them explicitly confirm this before they rush off on a very important new mission for the two of them. Mikotoba promises he'll explain everything when they return.
Next time.
Now, in front of our eyes this whole time, Yujin is the Japanese word, slightly more formal word than tomodachi, for friend.
Damn.
And Sherlock always referred to Watson as his faithful friend. Did he not?
Oh my god. I should have seen it coming.
It's a bit of a stretch.
It's a little bit of a stretch,
well,
but
as soon as I first of all, I love Dr. Gory. I've done a 180. I love her. But as soon as she's like, "Oh yeah, and there was some foreign student there," what's his name? I was like, "Oh, I wonder if there's gonna be some sort of wacky hijinks with this," and I was correct.
So, like, the entire time, the documents, the autopsy report of Clint Van Zeek's was written by Yujin Mikotoba, but signed off on by John H. Wilson.
Correct.
Iris sees this and goes, she makes a reasonable assumption, which is the entire document was signed by John H. Wilson, and therefore that is her true father because her father was the person.
All this handwriting must be her father's handwriting. So all of these documents from the partner of Sholmes must be her father.
Mm-hmm.
Her father's writing.
She then names herself Iris Wilson because she wants to follow in her father's footsteps, and then that's what begins her writing career as Sherlock Holmes, and that's why most of society thinks that Wilson is the companion. Now, this is actually a really good bait and switch. I'm not mad about it. I think my only critique is simply, is it Mikotoba? And if not, who is it? In classic Sherlock fashion, he has created a very uncomfortable situation for his partner, and then immediately goes, "All right, fuck your problem, we gotta go."
Yeah, that's actually pretty. That's kind of how it goes in the books too.
Mr. Mikatoba. Also, we should have clocked his fucking fit, looking like fucking Mr.
Exactly,
Wilson. Like literally, literally when he showed up in the fucking first half of this case, I was like, "Oh, that's a crazy fit. You kind of look like Mr. Wilson, Lamau." And then I just moved on.
No, I was too distracted by how much of a Dilf he was.
It's one of those.
You know what?
They're really trying to redeem Genshin Asogi as well.
Oh yeah, I'm
and
straight up.
They're trying to reestablish him back into the Dilf hierarchy.
Yeah, there does seem to be some there seem to be setting up some stuff around him, don't they?
This is Dilf revisionist history.
I'm fine with Dilf revisionist history. Sign me up. Take me to class.
So like, I kind of want to fucking kill Sherlock Holmes. Because
I think
it's so funny. You are such a roller coaster with this character.
No, I'm with Tiago now. We're killing him.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think it's just funny.
He created this entire fucking situation by allowing a lot of misconceptions to go through, and then letting him get a career off of it.
I love lying to my toddler daughter. Yeah.
Low key, I do think that Iris is now Sherlock Holmes' fucking daughter, but like, I can't know. Because this motherfucker is not going to give me a straight answer. And we're not going to know.
Unreliable of narrators.
She mentions when she was very small, she thought that he was.
Yes!
Which is a normal thing to think, and clearly he is, like, functionally.
You know what I just remembered? Doesn't Sherlock Holmes have a sister?
No.
Okay. Is that just a product of the fucking Netflix movie? I'm gonna be pissed. Doesn't he have a sibling?
He does. He has a brother.
What's his brother's name?
Mycroft.
That's not like Iris at all.
Microsoft.
No.
No. Windows. No. Okay. So that scratches off the. I'm scratching off the Iris is his sister theory. Then fuck it. Bad theory, I guess.
He has a brother who is just as smart as him, but is more governmentally inclined, and therefore, in the original books, he's not that big of a character.
You know what I noticed about that I never quite I guess we should mention? The number 10 years kept coming back up. So I was like, that's a really specific age. And then I was like, Iris, how old are you? And I checked, it says 10 years old. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, are you somehow involved in this? Whose
child are you?
Whose child are you?
Whose lost sassy child is this?
Yes.
Is she somehow related to the professor case? Is she... it can't be Genshin Asogi. I thought it was like, are you Genshin Asogi's daughter? No, that'd be weird. Are you Clint Van Zeke's daughter? I don't know how old Clint Van Zeke was when he died.
That's true. I don't think we have that access to that information. Wait, no, yes we do. He's 30-something.
That's old enough to fuck.
Autopsy report.
That's old enough to fuck.
That is, yeah.
She could be a Van Zeke for all we know.
With hair like that?
Maybe women in their family are pink.
Have pink hair, yeah, that's anime logic. Fair enough.
His hair's gray!
I just think she's not quite vampire-ish enough.
Are you telling me she does not look like a fucking, Guilty Gear vampire?
She looks like a League of Legends character.
Yeah, you called her League of Legends previously.
But here's the thing, though. I would totally see a character like this and someone go, that's a vampire. And I go, that makes sense. Alright, close your eyes. Erase all context you know about Iris. Imagine you've never heard her speak. Then someone goes, that is a vampire. What would you say?
I would say, from what?
From what? All the heart motifs. Heart equals blood.
I don't know. If I didn't know League of Legends existed, I'd just be like, she's a little magical girl. Haha.
I think it's not unreasonable to think that she is a Van Zeke. I do think she could be maybe some other royal from the Baskerville case. Oh yeah, that's gonna come up soon. Yeah, well, I guess that'll explain it. Thanks a lot, Sherlock, you prick.
What an asshole.
We investigate a lot in this section because we get to go from, like, we gotta talk to Strongheart, who doesn't like us. We gotta talk to our client, who doesn't like us. We gotta ask Strongheart for permission to talk to our best friend, who supposedly likes us.
Thank you and calls us Mr. Naruhodo.
After
being a bastard for a minute.
He is starting to warm up to us, and he's given us all the details now.
You're de-racing him.
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen very quickly, because I did say I would be mad if he just flipped a switch and stopped being racist magically. It seems like he's still racist.
No, he straight up says, "Isn't it convenient that now I'm at the hands of your people?" And I'm just like, bro, did you really have to fucking say that? Like, can you just be a fucking client?
Can't stop. I like how Iris and Susato, like, shit on him for a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
In the cell, they're like making
get a couple digs in.
Yeah.
Thank God Iris comes with us for this investigation part, because we needed an assistant.
We have an assistant. We have Susato.
We need as many hands on this fucking case as possible. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
We talked to Mikatoba, who gives us some information, and then because he has to let us talk to the fucking guard. We gotta talk to the prison guard, the chief of the prison, and he does this bit where he treats Iris better than us because she's white, and I'm just like, I get it, but then he goes, "Would you like a biscuit?" And she goes, "Wow, it's as hard as iron and probably has as much as possible." And then he goes, "Would you like a biscuit?" I was like, "Sure, I don't want to get anemia." And I think it's very funny that Iris is like, "This is gonna help my blood," because she's a vampire.
Okay, all right. You made your point. That is, you know what? That's the most convincing thing you've said so far. So,
when we have to talk to Dr. Gory, because Gory is the one who did the autopsy report, and I've
done a 180. I love her.
She has girly popped the autopsy room by adding a bunch of stuffies and, like, pink lighting, and I'm like, that's fine. That's normal.
She's a freakazoid, but she's a freakazoid with a strong sense of morals.
Thank God.
Yeah, she seems to be very different from her mother.
She's like, "I'd really prefer if you came back dead," and we go, "We're alive," and she goes, "Fine, whatever." And then we critique her on her report, and she goes, I was told the assignment was not to write down the date. I was doing what I'm job. Strongheart told me to do it. And I'm like, damn, Gory shit.
And then she immediately flips on him and is like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's great.
You guys are right.
We talked to her about how her mother was someone who was pressured by higher ups to conceal the truth. And she immediately goes, "Yeah, I'm not like that. I ain't going out like that." And then immediately writes down some shit.
And she looks like a fucking weird-ass Danganronpa character when she takes her mask off, and when she has her mask on.
She's like a porcelain doll or whatever, right? Like, she's blonde, she's got, like, things.
I'm happy for her.
There's, like, I could really see a situation where she joins the RPG team created by Susato, Iris, Gina, where she's the fourth member of the crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see it. I'm just so happy because you go to her and you're like, "Can we see this?" And she's like, "Yeah, records are meant to be read. Here you go."
Yeah,
we keep them so people can read them. Please look at them. I was like, "Oh my god, thank you, Queen."
It's so useful. It's so great to have a cooperative witness.
So, like, Susato is a monk. Iris is an artificer. Gina is a rogue, and this is our new cleric.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cleric.
I think that. Yeah, no, that works.
It works. She just looks like that. I did not investigate a lot of the rooms this time around because I didn't care if anything new changes, but I investigated Gory's room because there was a lot of shit going on. And she talks about
go when we go. You go to Van Zeek's old office. Well, it's still his office. He's just not living there right now.
I also did there
Kazuma,
too.
And
yeah.
I did investigate all the stuff. And that was funny.
That was funny shit. Gory mentions
so, like, Cosmos must be so hard, and he's like, no. I'm good.
Gory stitches up all her dolls because it's practice for her autopsying. Whenever
a healthy outlet.
It's a healthy outlet. Whenever Ryunosuke is like, "That's creepy, but I want to think about it," and she goes, "Here's how you think about it," and he goes, "Fuck, dude, come on."
That's the opposite of what I wanted to do.
I kind of like Dr. Gory. I know this is probably going to be the last of the Great Ace Attorney games, so it's kind of strange to have such a cool character show up at the final hour, but here she is.
She's here now.
She's here now. We have to go to the prosecutor's office because we want to face Cosmo and ask him some questions like, why the fuck is he freaking out? How did he make it to London? All that sorts of stuff. When we investigate the room, he talks about how Van Zieks is so particular about his wine management that he refuses to let anyone else do it and does it himself.
And then proceeds to
He's
throw
lifting these whole ass barrels every week.
Yeah.
He's shredded as hell.
What a stupid motherfucker.
He doesn't
No wonder no one can kill him. The bullets just bounce off his six-pack.
Good thing he's indestructible.
Cosmo's just like...
I heard Van Zieks was ripped. I heard he was shredded. I heard he had a six-pack.
Cosmo's like, I actually didn't have to do shit around here. I just did paperwork. This guy's just flexing on wine barrels, and meanwhile I'm writing down documents. His whole journey from Hong Kong to Europe isn't as complicated as it sounds. He simply just got a job as a ship-hand and waited until he docked in England.
Yeah.
Not that crazy of a journey. Fucking Dracula did it.
He does say though that he just had this voice in his head that was telling him he had to go to London. Something was still in there rattling around telling him that, you just got to go to London, buddy.
Just gotta go to London, bucko.
He did. Through sheer will. He just walked up to a ship captain and said, "Give me a job." And he was like, "Damn, okay."
I speak really good English.
Yeah, that was one of his two skills.
That is a selling point.
He had two skills. He knew English and he knew English law. And that's what was able to get people's attention. His theory...
The one big... Sorry.
Go ahead.
Continue.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, the one big coincidence, though, is that when he crosses the border and he gets booked, Strongheart just happens to be at Scotland Yard, when they're booking this weirdo who walked, across the border.
Yeah, I don't believe that shit. He must have been there on purpose.
Who's this guy? I guess I'll make him assistant to my top prosecutor.
Yeah, likely story, Strongheart. I will kill you in court.
So, Cosmo's theory is that the Reaper is an organization, but the leader of the organization is Van Zieks, and that's why he had Gregson killed. Because he's just I do agree that Gregson is involved in the Reaper activities, but I believe that Van Zieks is the one giving out all the orders. And I'm like, you think it's the chief prosecutor giving out the orders to kill, to Scotland Yard and killing these people, and not I don't know, the chief of justice who has control over both the prosecutor? I think you're not thinking high enough, man. You gotta go up. You can't just go sideways when it comes to controlling an organization. I don't know. I feel like...
Yes, but what if he also wants revenge against the man who helped put his father in the ground?
I do. Yeah, he is a little blinded by fucking revenge. Also, did you hear that shit about his sword?
Mm-hmm.
That is... So, he says his sword's name is Karma, and that is the pride of the Asogi clan. And then he goes on to say, it was a name so great that one of his father's disciples decided to take it as a surname. Are you...
Yep.
And that's how the Von Karma line started? Was with a guy going...
That sounds cool.
That can't be right.
He says that. He says that, Rose.
I think it's coincidence.
You think it's a coincidence in this game that has...
coincidence.
You think it's a coincidence?
Yeah, the Von Karmas are German.
Okay.
You gotta remember, though, that in the original Ace Attorney series, I believe, let's see here, they are...
American.
They're American, right? I'm looking here.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that just because 2 words sound similar doesn't actually mean that they're like it's like words that like sound similar in different languages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like there's a word for that I don't recall because haha.
So you think that the story that our good friend Cosmo just told us was like, not related to anything?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I'm glad that we could close the book on that one. Moving on, I guess.
Yep, I've got it sorted.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Fucking Cosmo is like, I can't believe he wants revenge so badly. I understand that apparently your dad was a cool, sick badass who studied the blade and also protected royalty and admitted to taking a life and had a last will and testament. That's all neat and all, but like, do I want you to kill Van Zeke? That's the problem. I don't see enough of a reason to like stop him. I kind of want him to see him do it. You know what I mean?
The real killer will get away.
Oh my god, the real killer. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. There's a possibility that there's an actual killer out there.
The real killer will escape.
People have been killed. There is a killer out there.
Killer.
Low-key, I think Strongheart's behind all of this, but like we'll get there when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're not stopping
it's a little obvious, but also like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it's him.
Yeah, I guess the reason is like why, you know what I mean? I also straight up think that the professor was Lord Strongheart back then for some reason. Cause like I'm beginning to think that Genshin Asogi did not fucking do this shit.
Genshin Asogi did something.
He said he took a human life.
Twist idea.
Okay. I love from now on, start all ideas like that. Twist idea.
Welcome to Rose's Twist Corner.
To Rose's Twist Corner, where sometimes my takes are great or they're going to be so hilariously bad. The professor killings were actually done by Clint. Clint was the professor. Because when you read the autopsy report, he was killed in like a duel with a sword, right? So Genshin Asogi killed him in a duel because he found out that he was the real professor. And then he ended up taking the fall for it because of unspecified reasons.
Damn shit, that's actually like a pretty good fucking reason. Also, it would be so hard for the British aristocracy to realize that one of their own. Yep. Okay, I'm in line now. I see it.
Yeah,
Rose,
yeah. The guy who would stop at nothing for justice.
Yeah, it's Clint. Clint was the professor.
It's Clint. Clint did it.
Clint did it.
Sorry, Van Zeke.
Fuck you, Van Zeke. Your brother's evil. But also, he was kind of based.
Your brother's super based, actually. Sorry, he's dead.
Actually, he was kind of based. Man, what a world, huh?
Yeah, because this totally makes sense. Everything checks out. I'm super, super smart.
And also, that will that we found from Genshin Asogi, that's definitely not the real will. I mean, let's be real here.
No, that's super not. That's forged as hell.
That's forged as hell.
I mean, even when Susato and Rinosuke get it, even then they're kind of like, seems almost too ordinary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Unless there's some kind of secret code.
Oh, you mean that like
there's like there's some kind of decoder, you know?
Yeah, some kind of cipher or secret.
Yeah.
It was actually just like a recipe book, and they're like, we can't let this get out. We can't.
Asogi family recipes are safe.
My jelly donut.
There were too many seasonings, too many spices for the British aristocracy. We couldn't let it get out. They can't know what real flavor is.
No, they can't.
There was too much umami.
No.
In a single recipe that Genshin Asogi concocted.
No, listen.
And they had to kill him for it to silence it.
The one thing the British kind of have going for them is fucking umami. That's really the only thing they've got.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they had to take down Genshin Hoagies, because they couldn't deal with the competition.
I'm a beans and toast enjoyer, so...
I think you're the only beans and toast enjoyer in the chat right now.
I definitely am.
I'm sorry,
I've never
Rose,
had
it.
When when I went to England, I was like 17, and I was staying at with my mom at one of her friends' like house. And we arrived, and we were so jet lagged, and her teenage son was like, "Here's a jet lagged American girl," and he didn't know what to do with me. So he just, like, gave me beans on toast. And that's, like, a treasured memory for me, was being, like, this like, poor kid who, like, was like, why is this American girl in my mom's house doing embarrassing, like, folk dancing stuff? Well, that's my secret backstory, is folk dancing. But, he made me beans on toast, because I was so tired, but I was really hungry. And that was really nice of him, and I really appreciated it. And I don't remember his name. He said like 3 words to me, I think.
If he ever listens to this podcast...
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciated your kindness.
Thanks for the beans and toast, home slice.
Thanks for the beans on toast. It was nice. It was good.
I think that shit sounds fucking awful, but thanks, man.
That's so nice. Sounded like dog shit, but it was very nice.
I'm so sorry, Rose. You said something genuine, and I actually take that back. I actually straight up take it back. You brought a genuine fucking memory.
I shamed Tiago into a
Well, a beautiful story of cross-cultural exchange. Mostly all of the other teenagers wanted to talk about if it was like High School Musical or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I brought to the table, was answering questions about American high school and how much it was like High School Musical.
That's
yes or no.
so was it like
can you confirm
do you have lockers? And I was like, yes.
I wish I had
lockers.
experiences like that.
Was it like Skins in England? That's the
going
question,
away
right?
And being able to talk about our own culture.
Oh my fucking god! I've completely forgotten where the hell we were.
I'm so sorry.
No,
that was my beans on toast story. Oh, the papers, the secret recipes.
The secret recipes.
The papers are fake. The papers are forged.
The papers are forged. Get Yosogi probably didn't do it. We for sure think it was Glenn who died in a duel. Van Zeeks is a moron.
Correct.
This is all Strongheart's fault somehow.
And Ash is a loser.
Gary was here.
Gary was here. Gina stole a trunk from the scene of the crime, who was stolen by Sandwich. And that
Sandwich stole a trunk from the scene of the crime. Gina reacquired it.
It. We investigate it. It definitely belongs to... It has a passport from Gregson, who went to France the day previous with a guest. We don't know who that guest was yet. And there's a metal blade lodged to the side of the trunk along with some blood. This thing was probably here when Gregson died. That makes sense. And then a dog attacks Ryunosuke, and by attack, I mean cuddles Ryunosuke in the face with licks, and he passes out.
You know,
he licks him so hard that Ryunosuke passes out.
I sort of assumed at the time that he, like, fell over and hit his head. You know, like, that would make more sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little vague.
But having, as a dog owner, sometimes when they decide they want to lick your face a lot, it does kind of feel like that.
You're not gonna pass the fuck out.
I know, but I'm like, can you not,
As a cat owner, if a cat licks you too much, they literally start to peel your skin off.
Are you gonna pass out?
Yes.
You're gonna pass.
If a dog licks you so much, does it eventually just fade to white? And you start to hear the
ears
ringing.
Roxy, come give me a kiss.
The fucking tinnitus noise.
Yeah.
I don't need my dog to lick me to hear that.
We wake up in Sherlock's apartment. In Sherlock's apartment is a passed out man, and Iris who won't say a goddamn thing, and then we have to do a dance of deduction. Because
I think this dance of deduction is delightful.
I think this dance of deduction is by far my most favorite. I still just don't like the format of the dance of deduction, in which he has to go through the whole thing, and then I get to intervene. I really wish he went through half of it, then I get to intervene, and then he goes through half of it, and then I get to intervene.
Yeah, you just want to get your hands on it immediately.
I want to play video game. I want to play the game. EA Sports.
Well, you just don't have the skills yet to be able to truly interrupt Sholmes. You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just don't have the power to persuade him to let you in on it.
He does bring up the fact that he thinks the passed out man is the king of Germany. It's not. And that Iris...
Yeah, the German folk song's playing in the background, and he's like, obviously this man's singing. So he must be the king of Germany.
Not. He's such a
I know, yeah, Sholmes
liar.
is messing with you.
I think the funniest part is halfway through the dance of deduction, he just goes like, Ryunosuke, why did I buy that record? And Ryunosuke's like, what the fuck? How do I know that?
Because you bought every record in London in game 1. Remember?
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
he did do that.
Fucking did.
You bought every possible record player in London to figure out which one would play the secret government secrets.
My favorite bit about the dance of the deduction is that the man on the couch is sprawled out in a specific way, and I'm like, that's a really weird way to sprawl out. Sholmes then goes to move and open up the trunk because the trunk is slightly ajar. This trunk has never been open. And there is a boxing glove trap that knocks him up into the ceiling, and then he falls in the exact same position. And that was the fucking funniest Looney Tunes shit I've seen
and
so far.
like, oh, he's dead.
Ryunosuke's like, he's dead!
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep.
Funny as hell,
he lands
dude.
in the exact same position right on top of Mikotoba. Or the king of Germany, pardon.
Yes.
And
we figured out who it is at that point.
Yeah. And then what I think is absolutely delightful is then you get to continue the dance of deduction now, but instead it's Susato and Ryunosuke doing both parts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we get to have Susato do some of the dance of deduction and do her own little pointing, and she gets to spin around a bit, which is really, really fun, I think. And then, her and Ryunosuke playing off of each other and getting to do some of their own unique animations it's cute. It's fun.
She's so fucking cute. I love her.
Everyone took a second to dreamily think of Susato.
Yeah.
The moment of silence to
She's just so
appreciate Susato.
Susato gets to be like, that's my dad. And then Sherlock Holmes goes, are you sure? And she goes, yes.
Asshole.
We then have to figure out why Iris is quiet, even though that, like, Sherlock isn't here, which means we just get to start saying shit. And now we get to do deductions, which is very fun. I'm glad
Even though, it's very. I've know the look of a child who has something in their mouth that should not be in there.
She was hiding the key there.
Yep.
Oh my god.
She's trying to get her iron.
She's trying to get her fucking iron. Because she's a vampire!
And you get to point out as well then after all that there is a brief moment where you think the dance of deduction's over, right?
Yep.
And then surprise, it's not, and the spotlights come back on and Sholmes pops up and he's like which is really good.
How did Sholmes wake up way faster than
than Mikotoba?
His skull is very thick.
Yeah, that's true.
If his skull is thick, no, I'm not going to go into this.
Cool, thanks.
Bring it in.
We then talk to Iris, who goes, here's why I didn't say shit. It's because I stole the autopsy report because of my father, yada yada, bing bada boom. And then at a certain point, she just goes all right, I'm going to go water my garden so that, I don't have to deal with the embarrassment. Bye. And then it is at this point that Susato's just like, hold on a fucking second about this document. I know this handwriting anyway. That's my father's. And then fucking the funniest bit is that Susato gets ready to do a fucking takedown on her father. And I'm just like, hell yeah. Tekken.
I saw it.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, no.
He knows.
It's clearly, it's happened to him before, clearly. Because he knows what's about to happen.
Yep. I love this section because this is shit that matters to me now, which is about Iris' well-being and Susato and her dad. I did not care
when the game becomes about women. It's a good game.
I care about Iris.
As it should be. I like this investigation segment. I'm just also like, 2 hours, man. You could have broken this shit up.
No.
There's a lot to get through.
In the original Ace Attorney game, there were sections in which the investigation phase was broken up. Shu Takumi knows how to break up an investigation phase. Why can't you fucking do it? Oh my god. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. But yes, I think this is like when I close my eyes and think about Greatest Attorney 2, I am usually thinking about these moments, right? In my mind. These are some of the moments that stick out after we've gotten enough build up between these characters to get to know them well, and then we get to put them all in a room and watch them bounce off each other in really fun ways.
It's like letting the Beyblades rip.
Yes. and we're knocking Yujin out entirely onto the sofa, onto the recliner.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just really fun because we get lots of really fun dialogue between Susato, like confronting her father here and being like, wait a minute, you're the partner of the great detective, you know? You're the partner of Sholmes. It's not Wilson. And yeah, and he's seen her and Ryunosuke puzzle this out, and Sholmes just being like, yeah.
If I went back home to my country to see my daughter for the first time, who's only known me for like a handful of months, I would be telling her all about my escapades with this guy that she likes because she's been reading his books. I would not be able to hold that shit back.
Well, the books didn't start coming out until presumably Iris was at least tall enough to reach a typewriter while sitting in a chair.
But imagine like sitting there one day and then you see your daughter reading Sherlock Holmes book and you're like, oh shit.
That's my boy. That's that guy
that's
I
my
hung out with
homeboy.
for 6 years.
That's
my god, that's my stupid ass man.
Oh my god. I can't believe he knew about all this entire shit and was just like shutting the fuck. Did he know about Iris? There's no way he didn't know about Iris. Does he know about Iris?
I don't think Iris is his daughter.
I don't think Iris is his daughter, but I also
Let's put it like this. When he met her for the first time earlier in this investigation phase,
yes,
he acted like he was meeting her for the first time.
No, here's my thing. Does he even know that Iris exists? Is it a possibility that Sherlock Holmes just said, oh, by the way, this little girl thinks that you're her dad, but don't say anything? Like, it's a solid chance that, like, Sherlock did not even tell her about Iris as a person. You know what I mean?
No, he definitely forgot. He definitely forgot about that. He definitely left that out.
In all his letters that he sent to Mikatoba.
He's such an asshole. When he is like, he literally is like, oh, I'll get that telegram delivered. And I tried so hard to see it. I was like, give me the telegram, gimme.
Yeah.
And they do not put it into the court record, even for a second.
They don't let you see it.
Oh my god, Sherlock was hiding while we were...
What could he be sending?
Sherlock was hiding when we were talking to Mikatoba, so that's why they didn't fucking interact in that scene, because then Sherlock would have given up the ghost.
Yep.
Oh, I see. I see.
I still think he's a former criminal.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, well, alright, fair enough.
Listen, I've got so many ideas. They're all rattling around in there. At least one of them's got to be good.
True.
I mean, you all have agreed at least on one thing, and that's that Sholmes is an asshole.
He's a fucking asshole.
True.
I hate this guy. We've all flip-flopped on him.
I can confirm. That I can just say, yep, he's a dick.
Piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, there's still more to be revealed here, but yeah, it's that part I can just say, yeah, he's a jerk.
Oh my god. I'm excited to the next part.
Yeah, this is kind of I don't know. I don't want to say that this is like the biggest surprise of the duology, but like this is
because
like
I've already
the reveal...
figured out the other twist.
Yeah, true.
But like the idea that Yujin is Watson, right? he is what we would think of as the Watson position in this story, right?
Mhm.
He is the Watson character. That is like one of the bigger reveals to me that I think that this game has, and it's one of the things that I found at the time during my first playthrough the most satisfying, because it is one of those things where in retrospect it seems like very obvious. Like the second I saw it, like you said, Tiago, the second you see him in Western clothing with his goofy little bowler cap on, you're like, oh, duh, of course. That's just the archetypical Watson costume,
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
That's
And so,
the guy.
getting to see them, interact and getting that reveal, I think is really fun. And it's a way to, put a little twist on it. Cause yes, there's nothing, of course, Watson could be a Japanese guy. Sure. Why not? And it's nice to interact, or not interact, but, interlock, Susato and Sholmes and Mikotoba and all these characters in new ways now, and add extra, an extra little bit of depth to all these characters now that will hopefully play off each other well as we head into the final case. So yeah, I think that's kind of covered most of the big deals. I know we had some big theories already, so I won't ask for any theories before we wrap up here.
Yeah, we have a new... It's good that we've come up with this just in time to run out of game. Like twist idea, Rose's twist idea.
So, but yeah, did anybody have any other last thoughts before we wrap up here?
I think Clint did it. Yeah,
we think it was Clint. I'm curious. They keep mentioning like, oh, there's some important piece of evidence found in his stomach that like led to conviction, which we don't know what that is yet.
It's a pill that said Genshin Asogi did it.
Yeah, like we're pretty sure Genshin Asogi probably did kill Clint.
I do believe that. Also, specifically, Clint was killed in a way that was different from any of the other aristocracy. How do you say it? Aristocracy.
Yeah, everyone else was killed with a dog. He was killed with a single stab wound through the heart, indicating a master swordsman, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Genshin took down this guy specifically because he was the professor.
Yeah, he was doing it for sure.
That's all I really gotta say.
And he was right and base to do so, and I'm gonna have a really hard time dealing with all of that because down with the aristocracy.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, yeah. And I think that will do it for us this week.
Wow.
So next time, it's really hard to divide up this final case. So for now, if we'll put it out on the socials if things change, but for now our plan is to take the whole final case in one go. Because it does not have a good stopping point in the middle. It kind of just stuff happens.
He's been dreading this.
And I thought a lot about how to divide it up.
And you knew Tiago and I weren't gonna like it, no matter what you did.
Well, it's just I know that it's a lot of game to cover in our usual 2-week period. I know because we've got lives, we've got other stuff, and trying to squeeze in.
My shit's falling apart right now. For real.
5 to 6 hours of gameplay can sometimes be tough in between.
I know
a busy life, but yeah, if we really can't make it in time, we will put it out on the socials that we're splitting it up, and then you'll see it put in case 5 part 1.
Just come over and do my laundry for me so I can work on the case.
Yeah, somebody want to help Rose out?
Do my laundry.
do some laundry.
But my executive dysfunction.
But yeah, so our plan for right now is to do case 5 all in one go so that we can discuss the entire ending all at once, and then after that we think that we'll do a episode that kind of wraps up the entire Great Ace Attorney duology, and we kind of will cover all our thoughts on both games all in one go. So we'll see how all that shakes out, but that is the current plan. So either way, you'll still get 2 more episodes out of us at the minimum, covering Great Ace Attorney. So you can keep up with the show via our website, updatedautopsy.report, which, speaking of socials, has links to all of our social media accounts and links to everything else that we do. So it has all the podcast links, it has all the Let's Play links, so you can catch everything there. And if you want to go directly to the YouTube page, that is youtube.com/@Yotseben. And you can follow me on pretty much all social media accounts, but, mainly just Blue Sky, yotseben.bsky.social. Dessy, where can people find you?
Blue Sky, if you look really hard, and I know some of you are finding me out of the woodwork, and it's quite frightening. And I'm sorry that you're seeing the things that you're seeing.
You have to be a real
it's okay, listeners. We're all right there with
to figure it out. So, Tiago, how about you?
Tiago S. Dutra on various social medias. Find my link tree. You can Google. I believe in you.
And Rose.
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on various social media, but mostly just Blue Sky right now. Haha. You can find me at home in my fucking iPad baby era. I have an iPad. It's 2025. I got my first iPad.
Oh my god.
Did you get a pencil?
I got a pencil.
You're drawing on your iPad? Oh, I'm so happy for you, Rose.
I love my pencil.
That sounds very rose core to me. I can see it. I'm picturing it right now in perfect 4K in my brain.
I'm drawing on my iPad. I'm having so much fun.
Rose, get iPad.
I love it. I'm not watching that many baby videos, but I do have a stupid little iPad game. But anyways, you can find me on my iPad, just wherever. I'm taking it with me all over the place. I love this thing. This is great.
Yeah. Have you heard?
Have you heard about this new
things?
thing? Listen, I got it secondhand. I got it as a gift. It's my dad's old iPad, and I'm loving it. This is the best.
Listen, sometimes
he gave me a little keyboard stand with it too. I can type. This podcast is not sponsored by anybody.
But if Apple wants to sponsor us and send us a bunch of free iPads or whatever, why not?
Yeah.
I consider it, yeah.
So.
I think if I got any tablet with any pencil, I would be happy. It's just that this happens to be the one that I've got.
Understandable.
And it's great. So that's where you'll find me.
Alrighty.
Now that we've shared that we're happy with Rose's
that's my little bright spot.
And on some positivity.
Yeah.
Rose's bright spot. Every week we get a little bright spot from Rose.
I do my best. I mean, usually I don't have a bright spot. Usually where I'm at is screaming on the subway. Like the fucking green line at Boylston Street.
Shrieking.
Yep. Well, hopefully not constantly screaming the whole time. As soon as you sit down on the bench.
When you guys come to Boston, you're gonna fucking. I'm taking you to the Boylston Street so you can hear what it does.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You guys know. Boston listeners know.
Oh man. Well, we'll find out eventually. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And we also hope that you would rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because we don't do ads or anything like that, so reviews really do help us. It gets the word out, and
we're putting this out at the cost of ourselves.
Yep.
I have to play 5 whole hours of video game.
Well, we pay for hosting.
Yeah, that too.
So, yep. Thank you, everybody. Yes, reviews are wonderful, and we will read them on the air if you write us a nice 5-star review. So next time, as I said, assuming no issues, we shall be playing the entirety of The Resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.